Hey guys, it's Chastity. First of all, I'm going to start out with telling you that yes, I did dye my hair. I'm sure I'll get comments about that, but yeah, I did dye it. This is my natural hair color, so I'm not blonde anymore, but I thought it would be easier to keep up with now that I have a baby and my money doesn't really go towards things that I need now. So I decided to dye it. I actually really like it, so yeah. This is going to be my labor and delivery story. I did have a paper where I wrote down like times of like what happened when, of some things that had happened, but I cannot find it anywhere. So I'm just going to try to remember as best as I can. It's all kind of really a blur, but I'm going to try to remember what I can. And I did record my delivery, but it shows a little bit too much, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to upload it to YouTube. And not that maybe it's too much for YouTube, but too much for that I would like to show. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to upload it, but if you guys know of any way that I could like blur out parts in the video, like not parts, but like in the video, like blur out a spot in the video. If you know any way I could do that, like on a movie maker or a website or something like that, just let me know. But if not, then I don't know if I'm gonna be able to upload it. So sorry about that, guys. But I do have lots of pictures. Well, lots of pictures to upload of her, and so yeah, this is gonna be my labor and delivery story, so let's get started. I had a doctor's appointment on September 14th. That was a Wednesday, and I was a week and a half overdue, so I was hoping and praying that on that appointment my doctor would bring up induction, that or that she would be open to it, because I was really just so ready to have her, and so I was hoping that she would. So I was 41 and a half weeks pregnant, or 41 weeks pregnant, 41 and a half, somewhere around there. So I went in to the doctor's, and they did like monitoring my contractions and her heartbeat for about 20 minutes, I think, and they did an ultrasound. The ultrasound was good. There wasn't any like leaking with the amniotic fluid. It was good. She looked good, so there wasn't really any problems with the ultrasound that would make her have to induce. So that kind of worried me, because the ultrasound technician was like, well, everything looks good, so I guess you're just going to wait it out. And I was so disappointed, because I was hoping that I would be induced, so that kind of discouraged me. But I went into the appointment to see my doctor after I had the monitoring done, and I actually was having consistent contractions, but I did not feel a thing. Like on the monitoring thing, like I was having consistent contractions, but I did not feel anything. And the nurse came in there to check on me, and she's like, "You don't feel those?" And I was like, "No." So I went in, and my doctor said, "So you're overdue. What are we gonna do?" And I said, "Please induce me." So she said that she would check my cervix and see if I had made any progress, and we would decide from there. So she checked my cervix, and I had not made any progress. I was still just a centimeter dilated and about 70% effaced. So she said, well, I think that it would be okay to go ahead and induce you. So I was so excited. She had wanted to induce me Friday night, and but I was just like so anxious and so ready, and I was so excited by that point that she had decided to. So I said, how would you feel about inducing me tomorrow night, which would be Thursday night? And she said, I guess we could do that. So, she planned to induce me the next day in the evening, because we were going to do the what's called Cervidil. And that is it's like a little kind of like a tampon kind of thing, and it has like something in it or on it to help your cervix dilate and efface. So she said that we would start that evening, and then I would just stay the night and let that work overnight. You had to keep it in for 12 hours, and then the next day they would take it out and check my cervix and then start the Pitocin. So the next day, on September 15th, I went to the hospital at about, I got there about 5:30, registered, and then went in at 6. I was in my room by 6. And the nurse came in and hooked me up to my IV, and she said that my doctor, my midwife, was actually at, she was doing a class, like a centering group class, so that she would be a little bit late. So I had to wait, and she took longer than she thought, so she didn't get there and get to put in the Cervidil till about 9. And the plan was to put it in about 7. So that delayed things a little bit. So I just had to like lay there and wait for her to come. But I have a tangle in my hair. Okay, sorry about that. So she came in about 9 and put the Cervidil in. It didn't hurt at all to get it put in. A little bit of pressure, kind of like getting your cervix checked, which I don't think hurts. Some people do, but I didn't think it hurt. And so she put it in, and I had family there, and a friend, and my family, you know, everyone was there. And so my dad and like my cousin and aunt, my grandma, and a friend that came in, they all went back to my house and spent the night. My mom stayed at the hospital with me because the Cervidil has to stay in for 12 hours, so there was no point in them staying there. She said that the Cervidil, with some women, puts them into labor, just the Cervidil alone without the Pitocin. So I was really hoping that that would work, because I really didn't want to be induced with Pitocin. But so I had that in, and they gave me an Ambien to help me sleep through the night, because of course I wasn't going to be able to sleep. So they gave me an Ambien, and I slept all through the night, and I woke up about 4:30 a.m. and I woke up with really bad contractions, and I looked at the screen, and I had, like, they were like top of the line, like they were getting really high, and I was having them pretty consistently. Well, I'd have them, like, I'd have a bunch really close together, and it would space out for a while, and then I'd have more really close together. So at 5, she came in about 5 to check on me, and by then I was having contractions. I was feeling them, and I knew, like, I was in labor. So she came in, and she said she saw my contractions, and she thought I hadn't had the Cervidil in for 12 hours, but she decided, since I was already having contractions, to take the Cervidil out and check me. So she did, and I was still only a centimeter dilated, which was so disappointing. But I was in labor. She said I was in labor, so I knew that the Cervidil had done something, had put me into labor. So she took it out, and then she decided to start the Pitocin, and I can't remember what time she started that, but it was somewhere around after she took the Cervidil out. I had that written down, but like I said, I lost the paper. So she took it out, and or she started the Pitocin, and when she started the Pitocin, the contractions started getting harder and more painful and more closer together. And so she had asked for some pain medication through the IV. So they gave me something called Nubane, and they can give you like however many doses, but after a couple, like, it stops working. And oh, I got an eyelash in my eye, I think. But she gave me it, and it helped so much. It was a huge relief when she gave it to me. The contractions were less painful, and it made me really tired and just kind of out of it. So she gave that to me, and I felt better for a while, and I fell asleep. So I slept for a while, which is helpful. And I think she came in about every 2 hours to check me, 1 or 2 hours to check me, and every time she would come to check me, I kept on dilating, like 2, then 4, so I was making progress, but after I had the Nubane eventually wore off, then I got another dose, and it didn't help as much as the first time, but some, and then after that wore off, I had a third dose of it, and it did nothing. So I think about 5 p.m. is when I got 5 or 6, I think, is when I got the epidural. The nurse came in, and I told her I was still in pain, like the contractions were just getting unbearable by then, and I knew I needed something more than just what they could give me through the IV. So she said, how about I go ahead and order you an epidural? And when she asked me, I knew I wanted the epidural, like, there was no doubt about it, that's what I wanted. But I told her, I was like, I don't know if I've suffered enough, because I didn't know if I, like, had, you know, gone farther. I don't know if I had dealt with pain as much as I could. And she was like, oh honey, you have you suffered enough, so let's check suffered off the list. So I got the epidural, which hurt some. It was definitely not as bad as I thought it would be. I got to hold on to the nurse, and my mom was in there with me. Let me change my leg position. Okay. So I was holding on to the nurse, and then the anesthesiologist, or whatever it was called, was behind me doing it. And I was sat up, and when he like puts the catheter in, he would tell me if it hurts and tell me where, if it does hurt. So when he would put it in some spots I could feel it in my back, and I was like, ow, ow, ow. So I would feel it. He does give it a numbing shot. I did get a numbing shot, so that helps some, but I could still feel it in some spots, so then he had to take it out and restart. And it did actually take a while to get the epidural in, the catheter in for the epidural. But after I had it, it was huge relief, and like I said, it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would. So and it was totally worth it to have it. So I got that, and after that I felt so much better. So then I just rested after I had that. I rested a lot, and I was in labor for 23 hours, so almost 24, but I was in labor for 23 hours, and I started pushing around 1:50, I think, 1:50 a.m. on September 17th.